The moment Ethan heard those words, "If you want to look, just ask," his heart jumped into his throat. It wasn't the kind of thing you expect from a neighbor you barely know, especially not when you're a single dad just trying to bring in the groceries. For a second, he froze on the walkway, one hand gripping a bag of apples, the other holding his 5-year-old's backpack. Those words weren't flirty or bold the way someone might take them. They were gentle, understanding, almost amused. And that somehow made them land even harder. A warm California breeze brushed past, but Ethan felt heat rising in his face. He hadn't meant to stare. He just paused when he noticed her struggling with a huge box near her front door. He was debating whether to go help, but before he could move, she had caught him looking. And instead of acting annoyed, she smiled. That simple kindness, unexpected, undeserved, left him speechless. Before we begin, make sure you subscribe to Kindness World, hit the like button, and share your thoughts in the comments. Your support helps us bring more real, heartfelt stories that remind us how powerful compassion can be. Ethan took a breath as the woman, Ava, set the box down and dusted her hands on her shorts. She didn't look upset. If anything, she looked amused that he was suddenly frozen like a deer in headlights. He managed a nervous laugh as his daughter, Lily, tugged at his sleeve, wanting to get inside for a snack. I wasn't trying to stare," he stammered. "Just thought you might need help." Ava grinned. "I know. And if you want to look long enough to decide whether to help, you can always ask." There was no edge to her voice. No sarcasm. Just a neighbor offering gentle reassurance to someone who clearly needed it. For Ethan, that tiny moment was unexpectedly moving. He'd been a single dad for 3 years now, after Lily's mom left. Those years had changed him, made him cautious, guarded, always trying not to inconvenience anyone. He'd stopped expecting people to be kind. Most days, he felt invisible, carrying the weight of 2 parents on tired shoulders. But here, in a quiet cul-de-sac where he'd only lived for 2 weeks, someone had noticed him without judgment. He set the groceries down and stepped toward her. "Can I help you get that inside?" "You'd be a lifesaver," she said, pushing a strand of hair behind her ear. As they lifted the box together, he realized it wasn't heavy, just awkward. Ava laughed and said, "Honestly, I probably could have managed, but I'm terrible with angles." Inside her living room, half-unpacked furniture filled the space, and the air smelled faintly of vanilla candles and cardboard. Lily waddled in behind them, dragging her stuffed penguin. Ava instantly crouched to her level and said, "You must be Lily." "I'm Ava. I bought popsicles earlier, and I don't want them to melt. Think you can help me by taking one?" Lily nodded shyly but smiled, a big win for a child who usually hid behind her dad. Ethan watched them, something soft tugging at his chest. It had been a long time since a stranger treated his daughter like someone worth noticing, not an inconvenience or an afterthought. Later that week, kindness continued in quiet, surprising ways. A plate of chocolate chip cookies appeared on his porch with a note, "For the hardest-working dad on the block, Ava." A few days after that, when Lily got sick and Ethan had to work from home, Ava texted him after seeing him rush around the house at 7 a.m., "I'm heading to the store. Need anything for Lily? Ginger ale? Soup? Just say the word." He stared at the message for a full minute. Most people stop offering help once the novelty fades. But she didn't. He finally replied, "If you're already going, ginger ale would be amazing. Thank you." Hours later, there was a bag on his door with ginger ale, children's cough drops, and even a coloring book for Lily. No charge. No expectations. Just kindness. What Ethan didn't know then was that Ava had her own story. She wasn't just a cheerful 30-year-old new neighbor who liked helping people. She had moved there alone after losing her job and going through a lonely breakup. She didn't tell Ethan that, though, not for a long time. But sometimes the people who help the most are the ones who know how it feels to need help. As weeks passed, the two neighbors fell into a gentle routine. On Saturdays, Ethan mowed his lawn and then helped Ava untangle her garden hose, something she somehow messed up every week. On Sundays, she brought over extra pancakes, because I always make too many on purpose. Lily began calling her Miss Ava, and Ava would sit on the porch steps teaching her how to fold paper cranes. None of it felt romantic or complicated. It felt human. Soft. Healing. One evening, after a long shift, Ethan returned home exhausted. His shoulders slumped as he unlocked his door. Inside, toys were scattered everywhere, laundry sat unfolded on the couch, and the sink had become a battlefield of dishes. He didn't even have the energy to take off his shoes. A soft knock came at the door. Ava stood there holding a warm casserole dish wrapped in a towel. "You okay? You looked wiped out when you got home." For a moment, Ethan didn't trust himself to speak. No one had noticed his exhaustion in years, not like this. He swallowed hard. I'm just tired." "Then let me help," she said gently. "Eat first. Everything else can wait." That night, after Lily went to bed, Ethan stepped outside to find Ava sitting on her porch, reading. He hesitated before walking over. "I never asked," he began, "but why are you so kind to us?" Ava closed her book, her expression thoughtful. "When I moved here, I felt really alone. Then you and Lily showed up with your bright eyes and your grocery bags and your tired smiles." She laughed softly. "Sometimes you can tell when someone needs a little kindness. And sometimes offering kindness is the thing that helps you, too." Ethan sat beside her. The porch light hummed softly above them. "I didn't realize how much I needed it," he admitted. "It's been a long time since someone looked at me like I mattered." "You matter," she said. "You're doing something harder than most people even understand. And you're doing it well." Those words hit Ethan with a warmth so deep it almost hurt. Not romantic love. Not neighborly politeness. But something that reminded him he wasn't alone in the world. In the months that followed, kindness became a shared language between them. When Ava struggled with job interviews, Ethan helped her practice. When Ethan couldn't afford Christmas lights, Ava showed up with an extra set she bought, totally because they were on sale, even though they hadn't been. They never kept score. They never tried to outdo each other. They simply gave what they could. And that is where kindness becomes powerful, not in grand gestures, but in small, steady ones. The kind you don't forget. The kind that fills the empty places inside people and reminds them that they're worth caring about. Ethan often thought back to that first day on the walkway, when Ava said, "If you want to look, just ask." At the time, he had been embarrassed. But now he understood. She meant, don't be afraid to see people. Don't be afraid to be seen. Don't be afraid to connect. Because kindness isn't complicated. It's noticing someone's struggle. It's offering a hand without waiting to be asked. It's choosing to show up in small, meaningful ways. And sometimes, it can change everything. If this story touched you today, let it inspire you to look for one small way to be kind to someone. You never know how far that kindness might travel, or how deeply it might heal. The simplest act can brighten someone's whole world, and maybe even your own.